Hello everybody, it's Daryl T. Dixon coming to you today, Facebook Live, and I'm asking the question today, do you feel like school or school districts should be liable for injuries from to the families of shooting victims and their families? And what has happened today is we've had a lawsuit filed in Marshall County Circuit Court alleging a number of claims against officials from Marshall County High School and the shooter himself. Unfortunately, tomorrow is a year anniversary of this tragic event at Marshall County High School. And what I was going to do today was I've had a chance to review the complaint filed in this case in Marshall County Circuit Court. And I was going to go over it with you and just tell you a little bit about who's being sued and what the claims are, because I know it's complex legal terms. And I've had a chance to review it, so I was going to try and do that. I'm not, out of respect for everyone involved, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to do any name dropping, and I'm not going to offer any personal opinions on this yet, because it is very new right here, and we don't know what's going to happen in this situation. But anyway, today a lawsuit was filed by families of the victims. In this case, not all of the victims, but some of the victims. The lawsuit was filed against Marshall County employees and counselors. Now, you cannot per se sue a school district. In other words, they couldn't sue Marshall County school systems because there's a law called the Doctrine of Sovereign Immunity. And under our state's constitution, a governmental agency or a county agency, school district like that cannot be sued. So what has happened in this lawsuit is they're actually suing employees and administrators from Marshall County as well as counselors, and they're suing the shooter himself. Again, not going to go through any names here. So it looks like 4 of the shooting victims have filed a lawsuit against some 18 separate parties. And I was going to review the complaint here. Again, this stems from last year, January 23rd shooting at Marshall County. And the first claim is against the school administrators for basically a failure to conduct their ministerial actions. And those are the actions of basically making sure that the students are safe. So that's what the victims are saying in count 1. And I think there's 6 or 7 different counts here. Count 2 is a Kentucky revised statute 158.162. I've not looked this up. Basically, this statute just says that each school has to have a safety plan. And if they don't have a safety plan, then it's up to the judge to decide under a law called negligence per se. If they violated this, then they can be liable under that Kentucky revised statute. So that's count number 2 in the complaint. Count number 3 is the general duties owed to the victims by the school. And this is under more of a premises liability theory. You know, something, it would be the same as if you went to Walmart or another business in town. This is more as a business. What do they owe to their guests, to their what's called invitees? And it's a high standard there that they owe them, and the victims are alleging that the school employees violated this duty. Count number 4 is basically the negligence for failure to secure the firearm, and this is filed against the shooter's parents. We do know this probably will not be successful. There's precedent in Western Kentucky for this same thing. Basically trying to sue the family or the parents of a shooter, and we know from past that they'll be unsuccessful. There's case law on that, and it has been decided. That's count 4. Count 5 is a suit by the victims against the shooter. This surely can go forward. It will go forward. There's precedent for that. He will be liable almost assuredly for the shooting injuries and death of certain victims. That leads us to count number 6. where they have basically alleged that the counselors had information on this shooter. The victims are alleging this, that the counselors had information on this shooter and they didn't disclose this. Now, most counselor, confidential rules, they can't disclose many things, but if it comes to public safety or school safety, then I think you could certainly, the counselor could certainly warn of a possible danger, and that's what that counts for. And then the last, claim is for loss of consortium, and this is just loss of love and affection of a child. Again, we're not mentioning any names here. The names will definitely be out in the public and out in the media, and it's not our duty to do that today. We just wanted to basically tell you that there has been a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit. Now, this has nothing to do with the criminal lawsuit that's ongoing against the shooter himself. This is a separate claim. This is for money damages, and again, they cannot sue the school directly because of the doctrine of sovereign immunity, which is under the Kentucky State Constitution. They cannot sue a school, and so they sued the school administrators, employees of the school, security, and counselors of the school. And these were certain victims. Again, we're not going through who the victims are or who those employees are. All right, so we're just trying to explain a little bit of the lawsuit to you, let you know there has been one filed here a day before the anniversary of this tragic event, and maybe just point out some of the things to help you have a little bit of an understanding, a better understanding of what's going on. So, Daily Daryl, we're out.